and it hissed at me, which I felt was rude and unwarranted. And so I explained that to the young raccoon. A lot of the process of writing doesn't look a whole lot like writing. You spend a lot of time staring at the wall. You spend a lot of time reorganizing your desk. You spend time checking your notes and making notes and setting up index cards or post-it notes or calendars. In the end, it all leads to writing, but it can be confusing for non-authors to see me folded up like a shrimp, staring off into space or playing with the dog when I say that I'm spending the whole weekend writing. But it's all part of the process, and there's no right or wrong way to write, but it is very solitary, and it is very, very much not what you might expect it to look like. So it's currently Friday night. My husband is out of town for a golf outing with his friends, and my son is having like a gaming weekend, and could care less if I'm here or not, just as long as I'm providing food. So I really want to use this time with no responsibility and no demands on my time from anyone outside of myself to really put my head down and work on this book and hopefully finish this book. I probably only have about 10,000 more words that I need to write, but I don't know what those words are. and it makes it really tough. But I can't full on plot out a book. I've never been able to. So tonight, Hawkers, did you toot on camera? Ladies watch this. You don't toot in front of ladies. And you made me lose track of what I was saying. Oh my goodness, what was I saying? So Chris is out of town. Trent's occupied. I have about 10,000 more words on this book. I don't plot. I generally just have like a vague idea of like, this is the story that I want to tell. And then this always happens when I get to the end. There's forks in the road that I can take. And it's like, okay, but which way do I want to go? So there's a lot of daydreaming. There's a lot of staring off into space. And it's all part of the process. So I am determined to get this book done this weekend is my point. It's been a really long time between releases for me, and it's very difficult to come back from a break. When you've taken too much time away from being in a creative headspace, it's very hard to just get back into it, and that is where I have been stuck. And I've gotten lovely comments from you guys about how I look sad or I look stressed or I look overwhelmed. And when you're an author, like if you work in an office, right, that's not your identity. But when your job is a creative thing, it kind of is. What do you do for a living? It isn't just I write books. I am an author. And when I am not leaning into that passion, when I am not able to express myself into fiction, it affects every bit of me. So yeah, I probably do look sad because I have been sad. I've been sad that it felt as if I lost the spark. I lost the muse, if you want to call it that. Because it's very difficult when you make your living as a creative person in that way. So I get up earlier and I go to bed later and I stare at my screen all day, and I have more energy now than I have had in months because I am doing what I love. I am fulfilling my passion and my drive, and I'm doing what I want to be doing. So, and sometimes I forget, because this isn't the first time I've had a long break between books, between writing. Sometimes you just need that break because you don't have an idea, which honestly doesn't happen very often. There's always an idea, but it's the follow through, right, that makes it difficult. So I've had long breaks before. This is the longest break I've ever taken. And it's just great to be back in it. So trying to balance that, my Echo wanted to let me know that right now I can save on trash bags. So being able to lean into this passion again has sparked joy in me that I forget I feel when I am in those periods of break between fiction projects, is my point. So that is what's going on with my writing. It's going well, but it's not going as fast as I want it. And it just is what it is. That's fine. This morning, I woke up at 5:30 and I could hear an animal in distress outside of my home. And I knew immediately what it was, and I wish that I had recorded it, but I didn't. However, it was captured on my neighbor's Ring camera, and I don't know them well enough to ask if I can see the footage, but I wish I did. Because what I knew that it was a raccoon stuck in my garbage can. I was pretty sure it was a baby crying for its mother. So I went outside, and it was maybe not a baby, but it was a adolescent maybe. It was a very young raccoon trapped in the garbage can. So I knocked the garbage can over so it could get out. And it waddled its fat little filthy butt out because it was in the garbage can and God only knows for how long. And it hissed at me, which I felt was rude and unwarranted. And so I explained that to the young raccoon, that I had just saved its life and perhaps it should watch its tone. And then it wanted to go underneath where the garbage cans are stored, but the garbage can was blocking it because I had it knocked it over. So it just sat there and stared at me as if to say, bitch, you gonna move this? And I'm like, I don't want you under there. So it's hissing and spitting at me, and I'm scolding it like a mother. Meanwhile, there's a camera pointed right at us, and I don't know if this camera has sound. I don't know how Ring cameras work, because I'm not fancy and I don't have one. But they can... absolutely, my neighbor will be able to tell if they review the footage that I am speaking to this animal. So I pick up the garbage can so it can go back under, because I'm done fighting with the raccoon and I'm not going to leave my garbage can tipped over. So I go to walk away and it starts to follow me. And I'm like, well, you can't come inside with me because Hawk would lose its mind. And then I'm like, oh, well, maybe it's chasing me away, but it didn't seem angry anymore. And if it wasn't filthy, I swear to you, I would have tried to pet it, because I am who I am and I'll never change. And I have always told everyone in my life that when it's my time to go, I will go petting something I should not pet. And that's just something everyone is going to have to accept about me. But it finally turned and waddled away. And so, yeah, I started my morning having an argument with a baby raccoon. And I think that that's actually a pretty great way to start the day. I mean, I highly recommend arguing with a baby raccoon first thing in the morning. I feel like I've been working on this book forever, and I know that it's really only been like a few months, and I've actually only been hardcore writing on it for a couple weeks. So in the last couple weeks, I've gotten a ton of work done on it, and I'm so grateful that it's finally going somewhere. But I really thought I would be done with it by now. And it's been like pulling teeth going into the third act of the story, because I don't want to disappoint anyone, and I don't plot my books, but I have a rough idea, of what's going to happen, and I know the romance part of it. That part is always complete. And, I'm a romance author. So, of course, they're going to end up together in the end, because otherwise it's not a romance. But the details and the how and the why and the character growth tends to come to me as I'm writing more than as a fully fledged, fleshed out thing when I sit down to begin the book. I'm a discovery writer. And that makes it super fun, because when the twists come, I know they're good, because if I didn't see them coming, my readers are not going to see them coming. So that is always super fun. But it does make it difficult, to finish a book. Other things that have been going on around here, the wildfire smoke from Canada has wafted into Metro Detroit so badly that right now we have the 10th worst air quality in the world. When you walk outside, it is just hazy. It smells like something burning. And at some points during the day, the smoke is so bad that I would swear the actual neighborhood I'm in is on fire. I've never seen anything like this. This is smoke from another country that has taken over Metro Detroit. And it's awful. Like, I can't even stand to be outside for very long. You can just feel it on your skin and in your lungs. Like I said, you can smell it. It's crazy. And my phone goes off and my Echo goes off and it's like air quality alert. Like, yeah, no shit. I know, I can see it. It looks like fog. It's nuts. So that's annoying. But, for the most part, I'm in here working on this. So I guess, if we were going to get smoke bombed, now would be the time to do it for me because I am not really going outside. So what else is going on? And since it's Friday and my husband is gone, my son and I got Pizza Hut because we only get Pizza Hut when his dad is out of town. I guess it's Chris's least favorite pizza place. He always says if we want it, we can get it. But I know that at some point in our 24 years together, he said, I don't really like Pizza Hut. And so it just became like a me and Trent thing. When Chris is out of town, it's like our special treat. And plus, then I don't have to cook. And tomorrow, we're just doing leftovers, so I'm not going to cook tomorrow either. Though I might go get donuts in the morning. That sounds really good. I've kept the cookies out of my house. I have tried to be more conscious of like snacking and eating because I talked in a previous video about the redistribution of my body as I go into perimenopause, and how I'm less than thrilled with that. So I'm just making little tweaks here. I'm just making little tweaks here and there to try to offset hormonal whatevers. So I've been doing okay with that. It would have been nice to run this week when the weather was nice, but air quality alert and Canada smoke, so I won't be doing that. So it is now Saturday. I ended up just kind of cutting off and going to bed because I was exhausted. My eyes get very tired staring at the screen all the time. So I just ended up going to bed. And my plan was to get up at 5 o'clock, take a shower. I ended up making cinnamon rolls instead of going to get donuts. I feel like that was the smarter option. Certainly the cheaper option. Have you seen the price? It's almost $20 for a dozen donuts at Dunkin' Donuts. No. Anyway, so yeah, I went to bed, but I laid awake in bed for a while, thinking through this story because, as I had said, when I get towards the end, there are multiple forks in the story road that I can take. And yesterday I picked a road and I started down it and I'm like, that road's not going to work. So I need to add a few chapters. I need to move some things around and I'm going to end up deleting some words, which it's always difficult when you have to delete words that you've worked so hard on, but it's all part of the process. And so yeah, I have to do that today. I have to move some things around and then it is also Double Down Day in my writing community that I am a part of. It's the Heart Breathings writing community. If you are not familiar with Sarah Cannon, she runs a writing community called Heart Breathings Writing Community on Facebook, and they do live sprints on YouTube throughout the day, and the goal is to take whatever your average word count for a day is and try to double it on this day. And it's the first Saturday of every month. And my goal originally for today was 6,000 words, but now that I know I have to add things and move things around, I'm aiming for more like 8,000 to 10,000 words, which is going to be tricky because Trent and I have some errands to run today. We're going to go get a coffee. He wants to go sell some old video games at the used game store. So we will be out of the house for a little while. But for the most part, I'm going to be right here, which I filmed some of that for you yesterday, and I just don't know how fascinating that is for you guys to just sit and watch me, clicky clack. I mean, I love to watch people do that, but I'm not really a writing channel, so I don't probably have a lot of authors that follow me, and I just don't know how fascinating that would be for you. So I'm going to wrap up here, I think, because, yeah, like I said, I don't know how fascinating that is for you. And it's funny because I come into these Rebel Rambles and I don't necessarily know what I want to talk about. I knew I wanted to talk a little bit about my book because these types of videos are supposed to be about my life. And right now this book is consuming my life. So all of the content I can create involves me sitting at this desk. And that just doesn't make for good television, And I've been doing this off and on for 5 years, this YouTube channel. And it is still so awkward to film myself. I am incredibly uncomfortable filming in public. So, on the rare occasions that I do leave the house, I'm not going to really take footage because, I don't know, I feel awkward filming in public. When I'm hanging out with Trent, he doesn't want to be on camera, which is his right. And so I can't film that. How many times can you watch me clean my house? So it's like film every time you can watch me kick the camera though. So it's very awkward for me. And I also don't always think to turn the camera on because I am just now getting into letting this be a full-time thing. So when I'm doing my makeup and I'm scripting some stuff and I know what I'm going to talk about, yes, I can come in here, I can flick on my lights, plug in my microphone, and speak the words that I want to tell you. But vloggy type things are very difficult for me because, one, I'm not a very exciting person. I got some jokes and I can make you laugh, but how much stuff can I film for you in my house, and I won't film outside. So I don't know. I enjoy doing these Rebel Rambles because I love to share my life with you guys. I like to connect on the things that we have in common and discuss the things that we do differently. I friggin' love it. But when I am just ass deep in a project like this, it's hard to come up with stuff to talk about that isn't this project. So I guess what I'm rambling on about is that if you enjoyed this video, you liked hearing about the inner workings of writing a story, let me know, because I can talk about that more often for sure, because with the exception of the last 6 months, I do that shit all the time, and I love to talk about it, and nobody in my house cares. So if you care, please let me know. And if you don't, let me know that. That's fine. I never had an intention of making this a writing channel. So while I am going to, I can't even remember if I said this in this video, I am going to get you a video where I talk about my full writing journey and how I became a published author. But my intention was never to make this about my writing. So I don't know. This video was mostly about my writing because that is mostly what I am doing this weekend. And there's really been nothing else going on. I mean, my house is in disarray because I am in here 8 to 10 hours a day, folded up like a shrimp in my chair, typing with like my little raccoon hands. Like, I don't know why authors have such bad posture, but I think we all do. So, yeah, I mean, a very random Rebel Ramble about, what I was up to this weekend. So that's what I was up to, working on my book. And now I have to delete some words and move some things and add some chapters and get to work. So if you are still with me, thank you so much for hanging out. I love you so much. And I love just being able to connect with you about the weird, random shit that goes on in my head. It makes me really happy, and I hope it makes you happy too. Don't forget to smash all those YouTube buttons. And if you are not subscribed, you are probably not still watching this. Because I can't imagine anyone who doesn't love me already watching these Rebel Rambles at all. but especially to the end. But, you know, just in case you are still here and you're not subscribed, please subscribe because it helps me out so much. And don't forget to leave me a comment and, you know, just let me know, do you like the writing stuff? Do you not like the writing stuff? What do you want? Leave me a comment and let me know what you want because I am here for you. I love you and I will see you next time. Bye. I actually do know what you guys want. You want Hawk. But Hawk is a very, very sleepy boy today. Did you hear my knees crack? Ugh. Hi. Hello. I know. Every time I do a video, I wake you up. Well, that's because I can only film when you're asleep. Because when you're awake, you toot on my videos. And that is not what they want from you. No, that is not what they want from you. They want sweet boy. Yeah. Oh, itchy, 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 itchy.